Hi everyone, I wanted to do my June wrap up today and I have read more books than I think I ever have in an entire month. It was ridiculous. I read 20 books. Who does that? Nobody does that. I read 20 books, whatever. So it's my summer vacation, that's probably why, and also a lot of them were pretty short. But I wanted to show my favorite 3 books that I read in June, and one of them was so amazing that I gave it to a friend to borrow, so I only have 2 of them with me. And they're all also kind of trendy, which I usually try not to read all the trendy books, but for some reason my favorite 3 this month are pretty trendy. The first one's Wild, which apparently now is like a Oprah 2.0 book club book, which I didn't know. But anyway, this book was so good. It's about this woman named Cheryl. It's a memoir, so it's written by her. And she is just having a traumatic life as a 20-something. It's not going very well for her. She has all this drama, just not good stuff that has happened to her, and she's just kind of sick of it, and so she goes off on this trek. It's like ridiculous. I don't even know how many miles it was, but I thought it was over 1,000, and she just kind of is by herself and discovers herself, and it's just this huge challenge that she undertakes for herself, and I don't know, it's just kind of a self-discovery book. I thought it was amazing, and I think that a lot of people can probably relate to it, because I think that lots of times you kind of go into your 20s thinking, oh, I'm an adult and it's going to be awesome, and I think sometimes it's a lot different than you might think it is being an adult, and so I just think that it was a good self-discovery for her just to learn about herself in this book. And then the next book, I read this in the hospital waiting room when my mom was having surgery, and oh my gosh, it's so good. The Night Circus. Why did you guys let me wait so long to read this? It has been on my bookshelf for so long, and I finally got to it. Oh my gosh, so good. I love this. This book is like Harry Potter meets The Prestige meets, I don't know, The Hunger Games. It is like, there's a lot of elements of different kind of fantasy or dystopian stories in here, and I just loved it. Basically, I would not recommend really watching too many videos about this book or reading too much about it, because I actually just started to read the front flap, and I just kind of was like, oh, this book looks good, and then I stopped reading the front flap. But I was showing to my grandma that I was reading it, and she read the whole front flap, and she's like, oh, it's about blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, because I think the front flap gives way too much away. It talks about stuff that doesn't happen until pretty much the end. Basically, though, it is about a magician, and all of a sudden one day he has a daughter that he didn't even know about come to him, and she just has to start living with him and stuff. I forgot what happened to her mom, but I'm guessing like her mom died or something. And he enters her into this competition, a duel sort of, and so as a young child she is training for this duel that she'll one day enter into with someone who she doesn't even know. She's not even sure who her opponent is. She doesn't know when the challenge will start. She doesn't know where the challenge is going to take place. And so that's the book. I think this book is a lot more fun when you don't really know that much about it, but if you like Harry Potter, if you like The Hunger Games, if you have loved the book or the movie The Prestige, you'll like this book. And then my last one, oh my gosh, I wrote about it on my blog, but I had the opportunity to volunteer at a literature festival in Chicago, and I actually ended up being the author escort for the author of my next book, which is Let's Pretend This Never Happened. And so I met the author before I even read the book, before I even heard about the book. Apparently it's a very trendy book, and she's been on CNN and all that, and she has a blog, and she has a YouTube channel, which I didn't know any of this before I met her. But if you want to hear more about my experience at LitFest or meeting the author, I wrote a blog entry about it. But basically, her book, Let's Pretend This Never Happened, is hilarious. And you need to make sure that you're someplace where it's okay to laugh out loud, because you'll find yourself laughing when you do not even intend to at all. And most of the time when people say books are like laugh out loud funny, you don't really laugh out loud. This book, I actually laughed out loud while I was reading it. It was so good. I loved it. It just tells about her childhood, about her adulthood. The woman is crazy. She's hilarious. So it's just a really funny memoir. So those are 3 of my favorite books that I read in June. Obviously, there's a lot more I read, and I'll put the links below. But those were just the ones I thought were amazing. So I will try and post more videos throughout July, just because I'm off for the summer. But I've already read 3 amazing books in July, and it is July 2nd. So I can't wait to post about those. Have a good summer. Have a good July. Bye.